ATV-TALK, the podcast. Sit down with your host, industry professional, Leonard Duncan, as the men and women from the ATV world bring their behind-the-scenes stories to life. Every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And remember, dream big. It could be your story one day.
GBC Power Sports Tires, a division of Greenball Corp, has been producing industry-leading tires for ATV side-by-side market for over 25 years, with tires like Mongrel, Dirt Devil, TerraMaster, XC Master, Dirt Commander, and Groundbuster. They have a tire for your application. Top racers from GNCC, Works, and Best in the Desert rely on GBC Power Sports Tires. So why shouldn't you? Go check them out at gbctires.com to see the full line of tires they offer. Thank you very much.
Hey everybody, we got a special treat for you today. We have Mr. 10,000 himself, Bryce Ford. Bryce, welcome to ATV-TALK, man. Thank you so much for sitting down and talking with us. That win at the Invitational, wow. Did you see that coming?
Leonard, thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure. But going to the Huevos thing, I really didn't know what to expect. I got a call from Wes Miller like a month and a half before. And he's like, do you want to do a $10,000 race? And I said, yes, I would love to. Didn't really think too much about it. And then 2 weeks before, I was like, yeah, that $10,000 race is coming up. I see Joel's riding, and people are starting to ride again. And I was like, they're riding some rough tracks and all that, but I just rode my regular motocross track and rode 3 days and then got the quad ready and went out there. And, it was insane. I don't want to get into all that yet, but yeah, it was crazy. I did not expect that at all.
Well, I was text messaging you about the race soon as I found out about it because I wanted you there. And I was telling Wes, hey, you need to get this guy out there, and because I have a relationship and I'd seen how you've been riding, and I just knew that, you were going to do good, I didn't know how the outcome was going to go. I was kind of thinking if they made it rough enough that it would give Bo an advantage. Unfortunately, he had 2 motorcycle races at the Works event super early in the morning on Saturday, so I don't even know if he could have given it 110, even if the events didn't get split.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, and I didn't know that, but it was still crazy with the people that were there, like racing with John Natale. That's someone I got to grow up around and just see him race as a pro. And knowing that he hasn't rode in such a long time and on a Yamaha, that's what we offered him. And he went and rode really well. He made it almost to he made it to the quarterfinal, but yeah, he almost made it to the final. Just got knocked out by Walker Fowler. But it was, and obviously Joel was there, who's insane, and a bunch of good GNCC racers. So there were still great people, but it sucked that it wasn't as big as it was, like you were saying.
Yeah, but it was still big. It was still good. I mean, the way they laid those tires out and the uneven lane, you couldn't put your money on which lane was going to be faster or which lane was going to have a mistake because riders had mistakes in both lanes.
Yeah, no, I agree with you for sure. And that's what I messed up in qualifying. I felt like the right lane was a little bit slower. But if you guys saw the videos, there were videos out there of me in the practice on the left side. I got going, and then I got past the hard part, and I got excited. And I hit that little tire and just flipped over to the front. So it was definitely crazy because you're both starting side by side, and you have that adrenaline of like go, go, go. But you also got to be very like calculated and know what you're gonna do because you lose some ground on the right side. But I thought the track and everything was really cool. like I said and have said, I've never seen that on a motocross track, and to go there and see, tractor tires or off-road tires that I've never seen that big before, and to see a telephone pole laid out across the track, like that was crazy. And then knowing that, there's GNCC guys here, there's really good MX guys, there's legends. I was like, I did not have my work cut out for me, and those guys were really fast, and it was like the event was still really good. The competition was great.
Well, there were 5 different disciplines there. You had motocross, TT, woods or cross country, works, which is off road, and a desert guy. He races off road and desert. But so you had all those different disciplines, and everybody had a different idea. In practice, did you notice who the only person was that got over the tire?
I think it was Walker Fowler.
No, it was John Natale.
John Natale.
In practice, before they made the modification to the front of the tires, John was the only one getting over.
Oh, I believe it. John, just like growing up with them and just like watching him go to the race, like that dude, if you could pick anyone to do anything, I'm picking John Natale. Like, and I'm going to tell you right now, he hasn't rode like I said, in a long time, I'm sure. But for him to have the confidence and to be able to go over that, I was like, wow. Like, I'm over here, Leonard, shaking like a leaf. And I was still shaking at the end of the night. If you saw me a couple times in the races, I froze up because I was like, oh God. And then I was like, you got to go for it. But John is crazy. And that's like, now that you say that, that's like believable for sure, but sounds like John.
Well, I was told that he went and rode 5 days before the event, or like Saturday before the event, he went and rode. I don't even know what he rode. I just know that he went and rode somewhere in Pennsylvania, and then was all good to go. And Casey had asked him if he had ever ridden a YFC 450R, and he said, no, it's all right. It's all good.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. And I'm sure when he first jumped on that quad that first day, he did a 15-minute moto, no problem. And that was just like him getting started. But no, that's what I'm saying. It's super crazy that he even got like, I think if it was positions, he might have got like fourth or fifth. Like, that's just crazy. He got fourth in qualifying. Like, the dude's insane. And that's like someone I try to like, is a role model for me, and I try to replicate, that mentality, but it's just, no one's ever the same.
That guy, he's still in great physical condition. And when I interviewed him after the event, the first thing he said to me is, I'm coming back. And I was like, great. This is not going to make some of these kids happy.
No, that's true for sure. But like, I just hope if he comes back, he trains and just takes it serious, because like, are
you sure you want that?
I want that. No, it's not even that, like, if I beat him or whatever, but even if I lost to him, it's like playing football with Tom Brady. Like, if I get that opportunity to race with John, like, I'd be smiling if the dude had the red number plate and I was in second. Or, if he beat me, last lap of the race, or if I beat him, I'd be, happy as well. But to be able to be out there with John, it would be something for me that would be really crazy, because when I was on 50 CVTs, I won a John Natale track walk, and then it went from me being on a 50 to him being, winning a pro title, and then to be on the track with him, that would be crazy.
Well, you didn't go head to head with him in that event, but you were definitely in the same event with him. and, at the same starting gate, and even rode one of your bikes.
No, that's what's crazy about it. And it sort of sucks now that it's over. Like, I would have just loved to be out there with John. Like, even in practice, we didn't even get to go against each other at all. But it was super cool to see that he rode my bike, and he beat me on my bike the first 8 laps he ever rode the thing. And I've been riding it for 2.5 years now, and I'm like, God, And it's like he says he's gonna race, and that's like exciting for me, because he might ride down here sometimes. I don't know what it could bring for me. So that would be amazing if John came back to be able to be on the track with him. That would be crazy.
I'm sure that if he would come and practice at your facility, I'm sure that there's lessons that could be learned from a guy that's been racing ATVs that long, and he's really, really tuned in.
No, for sure. I agree with you 100%.
That would be a definite feather in your cap, and an added bonus to your package that I don't think that everybody's prepared for.
No, I agree with you, but I just think, that would be insane. But for me, I gotta be better. I gotta be more mature. Like at Loretta's, I felt great, and this is getting into something different. But like, I didn't make any mistakes at Loretta's, and I pulled good starts, and I did my own thing. But that's just like, there was so many brain farts I had this year, and being like working with John, like you're saying, would be great, because I feel like he keeps the mood so light. Like at the Vegas race, he was telling me what to do. And I'm like, John, you haven't rode forever. You'd think I would give him some advice, but I didn't have much advice to give him. Like, he was nailing it all. So to be able to ride with him would be crazy for me. I think, like you're saying, it would really benefit me, and it would be cool to, like I'm telling you, to race with him.
He's got a diverse set of skills, though. He's done quite a bit of different things where he's ridden works races and had to ride obstacles. So he had done probably nothing that probably aggressive before, but he's ridden all different types of environments. So I think that him coming to your aid and helping you and giving you some tech tips, that's just a bonus. I mean, the guy,
I agree with you.
I met Tommy Sally in 1991 at Loretta Lynn's after the finals were over, and he was standing in the middle of this grass area, and people were loading up and getting ready to go, and he's telling everybody, I want to race more. We need to keep going. We need to race more. We need to do this. We need to, he was just all fired up, and races are all over. John, you won a championship. You get to go home, and relax. I think he won an open class title at that year. I'm not sure. I would have to go back and check it out, but he was.
That's crazy. That's like John Natale still to this day. And like, even when I was around him, he was still that way.
Extremely fierce competitor, and you know how good of a competitor he was, because when you talk to the guys that he raced against, and they knew that he was there, they respected him, and to a point they may have feared him a little.
Yeah, when you talk about old racers, John Natale's brought up every time because he left his mark, and that's like, yeah.
Yeah, we got to go do the what did they call those things? The Great Outdoor Games in Florida.
Yep.
Yeah, he was just on fire there. That year he could do no wrong. He won everything. It was storming and horrible, and he was freaking just killing it, on a Sunday cruise out front.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was it was pretty great, So you didn't do any extra preparation for the race?
No, just I was honestly running regular tires on a really muddy track at my house. Didn't prep it, but then at the race, or the Huevos reunion. We showed up and Casey Greek showed up. And to go over the tires better, they were like, we should probably put on mud tires. And I was like, oh, that sucks. Like, as a motocross racer, mud tires are never a preference, but it worked out. So yeah, no extra preparation, just riding motocross. Honestly, more of an arena cross style track, and that was it.
If you got another invitation to go do an event like that, would you do it?
100%.
That's what I like to hear. You're a gamer, man. You want to go race everything. I want to change the topic a little bit because you've had a pretty amazing year, especially this last half.
Yeah, it's been really good for me. Like I was talking about a minute ago, the end of the motocross season, the national series was great. Ending Loretta's with a 3-3, and then knowing the next goal I have in mind is to win for the U.S. and do what we need to do to win over in the Czech Republic. And knowing, that I got selected after Loretta's, I was going to have to ride and do the same stuff that I was doing. And that's what I honestly did. And just keeping in touch with everyone. I went over there, my first time ever. It's a 12-hour time change. If you know me, I'm super active. So when I get off that flight, it's a little bit different. But I just had a great group of people around me. And I go to the track, the test track. The whole track's muddy. The only thing we can do is start in a little downhill and some turns. So that's what we do. I didn't really get great starts there. I was honestly a little bit nervous. We went to the track that we were racing the nation's race at. The bikes passed sound. We did, the opening ceremonies. Then just was focused after that, talked to the riders where we're going to start and all that. And on Saturday when I had to qualify, I got chose back row, 16 out of 17 something. Back row, there's a bunch of really good riders, and they're in the front row. They pull a really good start. I got probably 5th on the whole shot, and made my way up to 2nd. Was catching Belgium, Randy. I'm not sure how to say his last name, and I blew a berm. And I honestly, I almost threw up in my helmet when I blew that berm because I was so stuck, and I was like, no. Like, I've had those little moments this year where everything's gone south, and somehow I got unstuck on the berm. I was rocking the bike. I wasn't really holding it wide open. And I got out. I ended up going to 4th, and then I passed back to 2nd, and losing to Randy Saturday, which was a qualifying, but they only take 2 races from the qualifying, and all 3 of us raced. So I got 2nd that day. Joel and Chad went 1-1. And then going into Sunday, after knowing that I raced the fastest heat, I was pretty confident that as long as I did what I needed to do and, rode 100% the whole time, everything would come to me. And Sunday, I started behind Chad because it started to rain and he needed the clean bike because he was the following race. So he gets a good start. I'm right on him. Randy's in between us. I end up coming out of that, let's say, 4th. And I'm just riding my own race. Randy was quite a ways ahead, and I was like, oh, Chad's gone. Next thing I know, I'm right on Randy, which is 2nd place, about 6 minutes later. And I pass him. And I couldn't see anything. I was so hyper-focused on the race. Everything, was just like crazy. Everything was different there. Way more energy. You could hear chainsaws on the side of the track. So my adrenaline's pumping. And I literally just ride my race, keep the gap with me and Randy even. I'm like, I'm going to be smart, not do anything stupid. Chad's gone. We're going to go 1-2 in this. And I get off the track and they're like pointing me. They don't speak our language, so they're pointing me a direction. And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe Chad's at the podium. They keep pointing me. I show up at the podium, and I'm the only one there. I don't know where Chad is. Hard runs over and says, "You won." And honestly, getting that feeling of winning a race that I had no idea I was leading or won for our team, and really, helped us out and came through. That was special for me, and doing that for the U.S. Like that's our Olympics, so it really means a lot. And just performing well, it was special. Some tears came to my eyes, but that is what it is. And then the second moto, Joel and Chad did their thing. And then the third moto, I got to start out front, pulled a nice start. I was riding a good pace. Was in the lead. Joel passed me. And then there was a hard, big hole at the bottom of that steep hill. And I guess it was cement thinking about it, and our right rear tire hit it, and it ended up popping it. And at the end of that moto, I was like, I didn't know this in the race, but I was like trying super hard on like traction spots and slipping a little bit. And that Randy guy actually passed me in the third race when I was leading at one time, and I made a little block pass and ended up staying in front of him. And pretty much having to push both motos the whole time. 30 minutes was special, and then we're the last moto, all the stress is on us, and we end up pulling through and winning the gold. 20 years old and not even imagining going there. It was special. And then having this Huevos race was just great for me. I didn't really expect much, and going in there and winning 10 grand. I've never had that experience or opportunity to even race a one-off race for 10 grand. So that was really special to me. And just that's how my years went. And my brother got married last weekend, and I was in the wedding. That was amazing. So it's been a great year for me, and this is good because I need to keep that momentum going, because last year I pretty much started from nothing and built back up.
I was talking to you earlier in the year, and we were talking about confidence, and we had some pretty good conversations about the things, the mental state and what it was going to take to achieve these things, and some of the guys that you had to race against. And as I watched you all year, I just seen nothing but improvement.
Yeah, no, that's what I felt like from the start of the year. I came in really hot, and then like Briarcliff, I got hit in the hand with a rock or something, and then ended up giving my bike a ton of gas and falling off the back and really putting myself in a hole. I had a little points gap there, and then going to Pleasure Valley and blowing up one moto and running into a flagpole the next. Like, I just, really hit low. And then I was like, I'm going to keep working, keep consistent. And then Loretta's, it was like my peak race for the end of the year, the best I've done in 3 or 4 rounds. So to end that like that, and then just go to the Nations race and then Huevos, it's like I'm in a pretty good spot right now to be excited for what's to come and just keep working. Don't really, plan on getting back down that low and that big of a hole. Just like keep building on what we have going here.
Is your brother going to keep racing?
I hope so. I mean, I think he plans on. I from what I know, he is racing. I've never heard that he's not racing.
Yeah, I got to spend a little bit of time with him during the bouncing around, talking to different people. He was a chatterbox, because the first time I'd spoke with him in Briarcliff, he was really quiet. But there, he was a chatterbox, man. He just kept talking and talking and talking.
Yeah, no, if you know my brother, like, he loves to talk. I like to talk, but I just I put so much work in at the races. I feel like I go there to be a little bit more, just try to be nice, but try to also not really mess up or get off track of what we're here for.
Right. When you said that you're always having a lot of energy, and when you got off the plane, were you tired at all? Did you feel jet lag?
Um, yeah, pretty much. To answer that question, I didn't feel a ton of jet lag, but I definitely felt like being on a plane for 12 hours. Like my body, I had hip surgery when I was 15, and I feel like I have some circulation problems in my legs, but like I felt some fatigue for sure. And like those first couple nights trying to go to bed, it was tough. But we planned that out. Sort of, my cousin was getting married the week before, but I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it, but I sort of was like, I'll go to that. It was in Italy, so I could get used to the time change. So I was there a week early, and I felt like by the race I was perfect. So I felt, really good for me, but I did feel some jet lag, and I know Joel came in a little bit, right before the race, and I was like, wow, that's crazy, because I felt some fatigue for sure.
Did you train at all when you were in Italy for the wedding? Or, I mean, I know you probably couldn't ride, but did you get any cycling or anything like that?
In Italy, no. But I feel like for me, like a week, I don't really notice a ton of loss. If I just like stay active, I would run a little bit and stuff, and yeah, things like that. I didn't work out there, but when I got to Prague, I did a couple like body weight workouts, but no, I didn't train.
It was probably a good thing so that you could rest. We had a long season, and it was a fast, hard season. So you probably had some fatigue in your body at that point.
Yeah, no, and I don't disagree with you. But when I got there, at the race, I had so much adrenaline and everything. Like, I could have came off the couch for half a year, and like, I'm telling you, I didn't get tired in that 30 minutes at all. Like, I was so focused. I'm like one of the biggest guys who notices photographers on the side of the track and everything. But like when I was there, Leonard, like I didn't pull tear-offs in the first race because I thought I ran out. I missed it once, and I didn't ever take my hands off the bars again. Like, I was over there, and I was concentrated on what was going on. So yeah, it was for me it was crazy.
That's awesome. I really enjoy seeing how excited you get with the Team USA deal, and then when you were standing on the stage after you won the race, and I could just see the excitement and like almost awe in it, that the realization that you had won was really sinking in. You were the guy on the stage. You were standing next to a 7-time national cross country champion that you beat to get that $10,000. And I don't know what happened to Joel. I think that he was a little banged up, but I'm not sure why he didn't come out. I haven't got to talk.
Yeah, I don't know about that either. But talking about that second to last race for me, racing Walker Fowler. Like, I watched him go over the tires all day, and he seemed to like know what he was doing. I don't know if that's in GNCC or not, but he definitely had a lot of bike control. Once I made it through him, I was like, "There's not a ton you can lose." It's Joel Hetrick. It's the fastest guy on an ATV. Like, I'm either gonna lose or I'm gonna get embarrassed. Like, I'm gonna get smoked. So I was like, "It is what it is. Just go as hard as you can." And see what happens. And I honestly blacked out on the right side that I started on. I just ran straight into the logs, and my bike ended up bouncing over, and I was really slow. But then coming back through, if you watch me for the second lap on the left side, like I get over that first log, and I'm like, it is what it is. And I pick up the front wheels and send it in almost endo, and then get out of the endo somehow and almost loop out. And then once I recover from that, I don't hear any noise. I only hear my bike. And I'm like, oh God, what am I like so shook? I don't know what's going on. So I like look back, and I don't see anything. And I'm like, he can't be that far ahead of me. And I'm like, holy crap. he broke because everyone was like standing on the track, and I'm like, oh my God, like I might do this. And next thing I know, my heat light comes on, and my radiator had a hole in it all day. We just didn't know that. We knew it, but we couldn't change it in time because you know how it went. It went pretty quick. Yeah, I was like, no, this is not going to happen. Like, I'm not going to blow up. But I ended up making it through that lap and just being on the podium and getting to celebrate. Yeah, that was crazy. Getting like $10,000 put in your hand from a race, that was crazy. Because like on a national weekend from the series, like the check might be $1,000 or even for the winner, $2,500. Like I got one race, $10,000. Like that was crazy for me. I haven't even won the 2,500, but I just won $10,000. So yeah, it was unreal. But something that happened earlier that day is I woke up and we had to be at the track at like 4 p.m. So we woke up. We were standing in the breakfast line down at the hotel, and we stayed in Vegas. So I was with this, and I was like, let's go play these slots that I play at this casino in Oklahoma. And we went and played it. She was sitting there. I was like, put in 100. We got all the way down to $30, and we hit a $2,000 jackpot. So from the start of the day, it felt like a good day. And I showed up to the track, and it worked out. And so I walked out of Vegas with like $14,000. So if we ever have another race, or if there's another money race, you best bet I'll be in Vegas.
What are you gonna do if it's not in Vegas?
I'll be I'll try to make out on what the purse is, but that extra little bonus was definitely a little bit nice.
Oh, that's awesome. So I didn't see your mom all day, and at the end, when you were, I walked up with my son Danny, and we were gonna interview you, and you were taking pictures with everybody, and you actually just grabbed me and jumped me in there and took a picture with me, which was I really, really appreciated that. I hope that I can get a copy of that.
That's like the thing, like Leonard, is when I win, like it's just I feel amazing, and like everyone that like what you do for our sport, and like just like trying to make it grow and trying to get exposure, like that's what is awesome about it. It's not necessarily always the racing, it's what like people like you and the things like that mean a lot to me. Like to have that race even put on by Wes Miller, and like to have you there, you were live streaming it, you gave me an interview, like that's what's special to me. Not necessarily the racing part, which the $10,000 was awesome, but to be there with all those people. Like I've been to a lot of racetracks in the years, and just the people are what's the exciting part.
Not to get off track and not to change the subject, but how was the crowd for you? Because that was the first time I'm sure that you raced a race where the crowd was that big in the Czech Republic.
That's honestly crazy that you bring that up, because the people over there were insane. Were crazy, not in a bad way at all. Everyone, there were some people who were like, the U.S. is here to win, and like we wanted to win, but majority of the people are so excited. Oh my God, it's Bryce Ford. And I'm like, oh God, can I get a picture with you? Asking the people for a picture with them, and to see like, they're like, can I get a picture with you? Please, please, and then after I come off the track, they want me to take apart my whole bike, and they just want to, even a little cut of my cloth off my shirt. Like these people were insane. I'm telling you, chainsaws out there. Like I was like smoke bombs. It was, Leonard, this was crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like this whole experience, and like I'm telling you. Like if I ever get the chance to go again, you best bet, if you hear that rumor, Bryce has already said yes. Like the people there were crazy. Like they were like I was just like, this is insane, and like, yeah, I wasn't going to get tired. That brought me so much energy. And I was honestly mind blown that I wasn't tired at 30 minutes. And it's like, I need to cheer up in the US and rip like that.
Yeah, you do.
Like, I need to turn the other talk into positive stuff like over there and go do something with it. But it was crazy. And that's something that, like, for me was insane. Like, my hand, I haven't been in school in a minute, but my hand was sore from signing stuff. And yeah, it was amazing. If I could bring everyone over there to, see that and experience that, I would love to.
Well, I already told Mark, because I've been a race mechanic for a number of years, and I've done my thing in motocross and off-road and desert, and I've got to travel the world. I've been to Dakar. But doing something like that, I was the first year that the Americans won Rendezvous. I was there. I was one of the guys working on the machines, and that was just an unreal experience. But to get to go do that, oh man! I already told Mark, you need a guy, dude. I'll wash tires. I'll freaking scrub easy ups. I'll do whatever it takes. If I could be one of the guys to go. And he just looked at me and smiled. It may never happen for me, but gosh, I think I'd be just as excited as you are to go and experience that.
No, and that's the way I was with it. Is like, I was never sure if I would get the opportunity to go, and all of a sudden it came about. And I was like, I went over there and I was focused on racing, but I was also like, Casey flew over there and helped be my mechanic, and I was just stoked to be there. Whatever they needed help with, I promise. Like, if they needed to, groove the pressure washer tires, I was doing it. Like, whatever they needed over there, like, it was insane. Like, the setup they have over there, I was like, wow, like, this is really legit. And to be under that setup, it was like mind blowing. The amount of people that come together and the brains that are under that tent, and like everything's, thought out and, done professionally. It's like, it's crazy. And then to see the fans just like, yeah, and like, just want to like high five you while you're driving by them like crazy. It felt like a true athlete and someone who takes this, serious every day of their life. I was like, this is really cool.
That's so awesome. I'm excited. I'm all excited about it. I got up at 1:30 in the morning so that I could watch it. And I missed half of that first race. I came in, they announced, Chad's leading, and you were in third at that moment. And then they said that you had went into second, and then Chad had broke, and the announcers were, going off the charts about it. And you were in the lead, and I was ear to ear grin, thinking Bryce needs this. This is so awesome. And I was just going, I'm just going to say it. Take this, haters. Boom. And I'm sorry. Anybody want to get mad at me? Go ahead and get mad at me. I think that we should support everybody and be happy for everybody that gets the opportunity to do things like this. And there shouldn't be any negative. We need all the positive we can get in our industry.
Yeah, I think that in general, like, people just like want to come together for that race or whatever, but people are way harder and like don't even know half this stuff, like, and they're saying it, but it is what it is. Like you're saying, that experience and being over there, and if you can ever go over there, anyone listening to this can go. Like, I would really try to get there. And I hear that, the track they're having, it might be in Italy, the same one they went to a couple years ago. And that's one that my brother went to watch, and he said it was crazy. It was an awesome track. So even if, I'm I don't know what the gig is with next year. But if I don't get selected, I would do anything they needed, and I'll do whatever I can. You know, I might take some of that $10,000 check and get a plane ticket over there. But it was awesome. Just being over there, you know, being a fan of the sport and just everything. I was like, this is crazy. And being able to race it this year was like insane to, you know, really push me through the year with those experiences and everything.
That's what makes it all worth it. You know, the enthusiasm that you have right now, the excitement that you're giving off. This is what I want everybody to experience in the ATV world, because it's, dude, the sport is just so awesome and so much fun.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and yeah, I'm just really, you know, stoked on how this year ended out for me, and just excited to see what Daytona has, and just to push through the full year.
So let me ask you this. The young man that's watching Bryce Ford's career, and he's coming up through the ranks, what would you say to that young man who's dreaming the same dreams that you are?
I would honestly say, like, you know, if your heart and you really want to race and you enjoy it, keep pushing. Just because anyone else, you know, anyone doesn't believe in you, don't listen to them. You know, and just keep working at it. And I feel like hard work, anything can happen, and it'll pay off. And that's sort of what I live by, like, always do the right thing and put in the work when the others aren't, and it'll all come. And that's something that I feel like really helped me when I started, you know, from nothing when I got hurt. I just pretty much, you know, I'm way behind everyone. I'm going to keep pushing and, you know, let this satisfy me and just improve myself. So never give up. I've accomplished everything that I've ever, you know, dreamed of or imagined, and I'm still going. At 20 years old to be able to, you know, have accomplished these things, I would have never thought of that. So just keep pushing. Anyone can be, you know, better than where I am at now, if you just believe in yourself and push.
That's pretty awesome stuff right there, young man. As always, I want to thank you so much for sitting down and taking some time with me. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and the enthusiasm just, I don't think I'm going to sleep tonight because I'm all jacked up now and all stoked about it. So I would like to invite you to go and watch the episode that we dropped today on ATV-TALK. I know everybody that's listening to this right now, it's part one of the invitational race. Part two will be next week. This will come out obviously after that. But Bryce, you should go listen to that or watch that. Or Friday, you'll be able to watch it. On next Friday, you'll be able to watch part two. Yes, we got the footage of you going over the bars. That's that was my.
That is hilarious, because like even the video isn't as funny as it was. Like I turned around and I was so embarrassed, and I was just like, you know, like, and everyone loved it. Everyone loved it, but I was just, yeah, I was embarrassed as all get out, because at the start of the day, John's like, I'm gonna wreck. I would be the one guy, and in the back of my head, I'm like, you know, I'm liable to be the guy, but it's good. We're not going to say anything. And then I do it, and I was just like, God dang it. But my handlebar was so far down in that tire, I struggled to get my bike out. But it was amazing. And I hope that video, you know, makes everyone laugh, because I was embarrassed in the moment. But looking back at it now, it sure is funny. And it, you know, hey, one wreck, you know, it might have been like, that's the one to keep you off the ground, and I won 10 grand from it, so I'm not complaining.
There you go, brother.
The team here at ATV-TALK would love your feedback. Please email us at hello@atvtalkpodcast.com.
Duncan Technologies International. More than 33 years in the industry building racing programs and ATVs around the world. We build winners.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, don't forget to rate us on all the available platforms and share us with your loved ones. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook for more ATV Talk news. See you next time.